Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trekyards. I am Captain Foley.
No, you're pain free today. Wow, Stuart. All these things are doing.
Oh,
I sense no pain. Amazing.
you messed up my intro. I was gonna hit you with something in a second.
And now there's the pain I was working for.
I wanted you to share your pain with me,
Yes, but
but you didn't let me get into it.
and now you have pain, or I have pain of nervous. See, now we're mutually in pain. So who do we need, Stuart, to help us with both of our pains?
We need Cybok.
See, that worked well. We rebound that well. Yes! The end episode, just like Mark Hamill, Force Awakens, and others, you get a dum cut credits. The back of Cyborg's head has returned. That's all we can say for now. Talk about the moment, Stuart. Did you see it coming? What point did you know it was going to come? Did you like it? What do you think?
I saw it coming right near the end when he recognized, he thought he knew who the person was, and then he goes on to talk about it. I'm like, oh, it's obvious now. So I didn't see it till the very end coming, but it was a nice little reveal, I gotta say, and I'm kind of glad it was mentioned. So yep, I'm happy, but I didn't see it early on. How about you?
Yeah, for whatever reason, the first scene, they explicitly say it's a Vulcan, not prison.
Rehabilitation center.
Exactly, for emotionful Vulcans who can't. I was like, that's interesting, because they do a lot of Vulcan stuff this season. So I'm like, okay, back in my mind. And then they keep doing Vulcan-y, subtexty things. And then at the point where the lady said, I had a Vulcan husband, I'm like, ooh, interesting. That'd be a ballsy move to go, because he could just be a guy for a while. It's been 30 years. And then I was like, yeah, something. I would love to see Cyborg at that point. And then she said, he talked about you a lot. I'm like, boom, there you go. No one else. That's what it's going to be. So that's still a good way before the end. But then when they got to the chapel scene, I'm thinking, oh, they're not going to show us. And it'll just be an offhand. But no, we get that final scene. That crazy man Cyborg. I wanted him to turn around, obviously, because, I love the back of his head. But who the hell did they cast? Because the first guy, what a joy of a cast. He's one of the best parts of that movie. And I really hope they hire someone good because that's such a tricky role to do.
Well, after I saw that, while I was waiting for us to film here, I went back and started getting my screen caps, and I watched the opening again where you see them painting. And I was looking for somebody with a similar hairstyle, and you can kind of see one or two, like half their face behind the canvas as the camera was moving, and I'm like, is that him? Is that him? So I don't know if we actually did see him and we just didn't realize it. But
yeah, I assume not, because the sense was that he's more maximum security, was the vibe I got. He's that one tier above.
Yeah, you would think
but
so.
That was just me. 'Cause, the way they literally, from this beautiful Vulcan-y garden of painting to a ward with cells, that visual difference I thought was important there. Because if it's illogical to get off a planet because you can't escape, why do you need cells, etc.? But I thought that was great. And I've been calling for him since the first scene with Burnham, because you can't not mention Cybok and you got a new sister. Yeah, they managed that for 4 years. Shocking. Completely shocking. But now they can actually go into why, how, who, the relationships, and Spock says at the end, his only line. Because I was waiting for him not to tell Chapel, to say, oh, just some Vulcan from my youth. I guess Vulcans can't lie, but he told him it's not a secret, which I thought was very interesting. But saying I should never meet him, which is a very interesting direction for Sarek to get. But I'd love to see a Sarek Cyborg scene. The Sarek actor they had from Discovery is pretty good. If they get a good Cyborg, deepen Star Trek 5. These writers do know what they're doing. They've done some good stuff. They might have made the Gorn entirely different in terms of design, style, vibe. They don't eat people. That's very different. But other stuff they've managed to maintain very well. So I'm mediumly excited to see where they go. And given how much T'Pring is involved with the show, that's her planet and such, or one of her places. Show us Cybok, give us some of that, deepen that, and you can actively make Star Trek 5 better.
The Captain Angel thing, the relationship there's interesting. Like, is Cybok just using her? She obviously has a ship and a crew, which if he does at this point in his life want to get to Shakari, if he's figured that out yet. Is he trying to use her for that? Is he using her as an actual relationship? There's a lot that could be explored there for sure. Do we take her word that they were married, or that they're in a serious relationship? I don't know.
When a character lies in every scene, you don't know what's true, which is the fun of it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and if they do make a reappearance. And I think both characters, well, Cybok needs to at some point, at least be seen on screen. As for Captain Angel, I'm sure that she will be back in some capacity, because she was quite a good villain, quite a good character, and with the way it ended, it's like the Harry Mudd situation where she's going to be like a thorn in the side kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that she could convince and subterfuge all the Federation involved in discussing this problem and the entire Enterprise crew, and knowingly, I mean, yes, she had an insight of Spock, so obviously that was very specific. That helped, fine. But yeah, clearly talented, clearly good at, kind of a Vala Maldoran-esque, just without the sex stuff. She was much more clinical and much more professional. She was more shooty. Vala's not going to kill people by default. This lady will. So, but similar-esque character, and definitely felt like the Mudd of the recurring Mudd character. But yeah, the question is she dating Cyborg? Is she still, she said love is the thing, or is it more about the cult leader love? Because that might be fun as well. She's his biggest disciple. Is not there yet. We know that T'Pring and Spock fall out in a massive way, and maybe he does like Cyborg at first, and then they split. There's all these stories they could do in seasons 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because we've still got something like 20, 30, 40 years until Star Trek 5. Plenty of time to, I haven't seen my brother in years. So it's in fact 28 years until Star Trek 5, which is plenty of time. And if you haven't seen your brother in 20 years, it's a long time. So a lot of them to play with there.
It'd just be interesting to find out more about Cybok at this point in his life. Like, does he have disciples at this point? Has he figured out the Shakari thing?
I can't imagine he would, though. It's such a long time.
I know, but it'd be interesting to see the process, like where he is exactly at this point in his revelation of that. So,
because he did ask, I think Spock did say he asked him to come with him originally. So they did have a relationship originally. So I would love to see the pre-radical, where he's now just a Vulcan, a non-Vulcan Vulcan. What that means, how he, and I would maybe even losing this lady, this wife, this person, pushes him over the edge of, I need to find more meaning in the universe. I can see that being the logical thing. These are soulmates. They found each other so perfectly, and then post that sort of broke his mind even further. I can see that being. But also, why is he in prison, or Vulcan prison? Vulcan not prison.
We could see that. We could actually see that moment unfold where he asks Spock to join him. This is the beginning of the cult kind of thing, and he wants Spock as his right hand man. I would be down for that, actually, because as you know, Star Trek V is kind of one of my guilty pleasure movies. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says. So if they can retroactively make Star Trek V better as a result of something like that, absolutely awesome. Yes.
Yeah. Would be great.
Yeah.
I'm only excited. I think they've proven themselves as good writers. This feels so intentional, given making T'Pring such a big role, being in essence, like I said, prison guard, part of this program. It's all been set up since episode 1, so it feels very, very intentional. This is the multi-season arc for Spock, and if you're doing, pre-Spock, that's a fun thing to do for him. Before the Enterprise, he had family. He didn't have his father, but he had half-brother and wife, and then he'd lose all that for TOS, that has his own family in the Enterprise. So this is, by going all in, this is the only time they can go all in. They're early enough. So yeah, super interested. Yeah.
Well, guys, we want to hear your thoughts on this, so please share your pain down below in the comments section. Your pain or your pleasure for seeing Cybok in this episode. We want to hear about it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss any of our lives where we have these kind of discussions and more. I'm sure the Cybok thing will be more of a discussion point at some point. So if you want to join us for those, make sure you join the channel and subscribe.
And support what we do here directly is an amazing way, because obviously via Patreon or PayPal, or join the channel on YouTube, or support us via Super Chats via the lives. We need that sort of support to keep us going, rolling along, making free content for you all to enjoy every single week. So thanks in advance. If you can't, don't worry. But if you can, please do.
So until next time, he is Commander Cocking.
He's Captain Foley. Bye,
I'll
guys.
see you guys at Shockery. Bye, everybody.